Welcome to the business segment. I'm sitting in for the business news anchor. Calls to restructure credit financing models to reduce the high cost of borrowing continued at the International Development Association IDA Summit here in Nairobi, Kenya, led by President William Ruto. Heads of state and government from Africa emphasized the need for favourable concessional loans that are low cost. Why? To ensure the continent is not crippled by debt.
According to the International Monetary Fund, the average debt ratio in sub-Saharan Africa has almost doubled in just a decade, from 30% of GDP in 2013 to about 60% of GDP by end of 2022. Repaying this debt has also become much costlier. As of 2022, more than half of the low-income countries in sub-Saharan Africa were assessed by the IMF to be at high risk or already in debt distress. African leaders now say the lending ecosystem ought to adjust the interest rates meted on low-income countries to achieve sustainable lending.
High interest rates lead to unsustainable sovereign debt, complicate refinancing, and destabilize our currencies. Sustainable growth remains elusive for African nations as we allocate more funds to debt service than to crucial sectors like education, health, and social protection.
According to a UNDP report on reducing the cost of finance for Africa, 62.5% of rated African countries were downgraded by the big three credit rating agencies between 2020 and the first half of 2021 due to the impact of COVID-19. This is compared to a global average of 31.8%. The heads of state and government say solutions such as establishing a multilateral credit agency would counter the dominance of the top three credit rating agencies whose rating is used to determine interest rates when lending.
Last year, we brought to global attention that African nations pay interest rates up to 5 times higher than typical World Bank IBRD rates.
The intersection between climate and debt makes imperative the need to reform the global financial architecture in a way that delivers more resources to our countries to help address the current polycrises affecting our development and that of future generations.
High debt distress, or the risk of it, has been synonymous with African countries, and the heads of state who attended the IDA 21 have been adamant that there is need to restructure the loan financing across the world to accommodate African countries and ensure sustainable development. Reporting from KICC Nairobi, I'm Betty Kiptum.